Welcome, welcome, guys. What's up? Glad to have you guys here. So today I have a very exciting guest. This is Benjamin from Sartorial Styles. And so Benjamin, a little bit about him before we begin. He is 20 years old, only 20, so he's doing pretty dang good for being such a young buck, you know. And he's studying journalism in Ansbach, which is in Bavaria in southern Germany. And besides that, he is a freelance photographer and filmmaker for weddings and events, and also a texter for online magazines. And he is one of the probably best dressed men in Germany. So, all right, I want to thank you for coming. Thanks so much, dude. And how are you? How you doing, man?
I have to thank you first for inviting me. It's a big pleasure for me to be here with you.
Forget about it. Forget about it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing very well. It was quite like hard to make it here in time because I had like Italian classes actually until 7:15 my time. So yeah, but I made it. I'm here, and I'm happy about this.
Awesome. Same, dude. I'm really stoked for this. And sorry, I'm just adjusting this right now. I apologize, guys, for a little bit of probably non-professionalism here, but we went live, and so I had to change it somehow. Anyway, so
well, I am as professional. I have four books, then one beamer and one fabric book where my laptop is standing on, so that the cable from the camera can reach the laptop. So that's professionalism.
Right. Yep. That is. Yeah. So okay, and just to tell you guys, there's going to be probably a little bit of latency, only because. To get the stream looking nice, there's probably going to be about a 30-second delay. So just to let you know, just in case you guys have any questions, it's going to take a while for me to see them. But so what we're going to do is we're going to ask. I'm going to give the floor to Benjamin, and then at the very end, we're going to do a Q&A with all your questions. All right. So I'll let you guys know when we're getting close to the Q&A, and you can start typing them in, and then we will start answering them. But first. Benjamin, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into sartorialism. What got you into dressing the phenomenal way that you do and the lifestyle that kind of usually tends to come with it?
Well, actually, it started when I was looking at a video by Gentleman's Gazette. You probably know them. I'm pretty sure you do.
Absolutely.
It was the video about table manners. I think it's actually one of their most watched ones.
Yep.
And I thought, hey, that's quite cool. And I basically started to watch like different menswear YouTubers and influencers in general and that stuff. And yeah, that's basically how it started, I would say. I think even before I always liked dressing well. But only occasionally, like when we had like circus stuff going on at school, for example, I wanted to wear a suit and a hat and that stuff, but that was just like more limited to certain occasions. And yeah, when I watched this video and just started to get myself into this topic, it became a regular thing.
Awesome. That's kind of the thing is it's usually, I think for a lot of us now, it's YouTube. A YouTuber that clicks with it. And, echo's still there. Okay, we're getting an echo. I just want to know, guys, just let me know where the echo is coming from. Yeah, I'll try to fix that as quick as I can. I apologize, guys. But
I could also pick up headphones. Maybe that helps, but...
Yeah, you know what? If, is it coming from... Okay, so Jordan O'Brien. Oh, we got a legend in here, boys. We got a legend in here. And gals. Okay, so, all right, Jordan doesn't hear an echo. Okay, yeah, if it's coming from your end and you need headphones, don't worry. I'll keep everyone busy and you can go grab some if it comes to that. But anyway, yeah, so it's usually, a YouTuber. For me, it was, when it comes to YouTubers, I think it was, actually, it was the man himself in here, Jordan O'Brien, was the first to get me into the hair. And then after that, it was Alpha M. And so that was a long time ago. Oh, we got Gent Style in here. No echo. Man, we're getting legends, man. Great to have you guys. Okay, great. The echo's gone. Awesome. That was on my end. Apologize, guys.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. When we're already talking about YouTubers and that stuff, that's actually quite funny because I think a couple of months ago, I made a video about boutonnieres, and Raphael Schneider from the Gentleman's Gazette actually commented on this video.
Really?
It was quite nice because he was the one bringing me into all of that. And
isn't that great, man?
Yeah, that was pretty nice. And we had like a quick chat on Instagram, and quite cool guy, actually.
Awesome. He is. He really is. I met him in Atlanta, and taller than I thought. Like, I remember looking up, and I remember...
Well, he's German as well. So.
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah. So, and I was like, and when I saw him online, I'll be honest, I was like, who's this guy? Like, and I wasn't big on his style, and I started to get more into it as I watched him and as I saw him more. But when I saw him in real life, he was one of the best dressed guys in the entire room. Because I like, it's just, I don't know, it's something that too, a lot of times you got to remember, it might not translate as much from film into real life. And that's something I think a lot of people tend to forget, is that the impression you can have is very different online versus when you see him in real life. And I was like, wow, he was wearing this gorgeous 3-piece suit. And he didn't look dated to me. He looked just more like really, really put together. And I loved it.
I also feel like he just has like a lot of presence when he's in a room.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's that kind of guy, you know?
He is. He exudes this presence, and he's super. It's funny. He's actually really laid back. Like when I talked to him in person and stuff, he was really like kind of like, how's it going? And oh, you do this? Okay, cool. And I was like, oh man, this guy's he's really cool. So yeah, great guy, awesome. And he lives in Minnesota, which is flipping cold, man. I don't know how he does it. I'm already in Michigan. It gets cold here enough in winter. I couldn't do it. And also on the note of YouTubers, I know you actually know quite well one of, I think, the most legendary in the sartorial sphere, Hugo Jacomet. So tell us how you met him, how you met Hugo, because that, I mean,
actually, one of the books I use right now for getting the laptop up high enough is The Italian Gentleman. So
a good book, though. Good book, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I do know him. That was quite a fun story because I was watching some of his videos on YouTube and really liked the videos, of course, and I just dropped him an email basically and said, hey, I like your videos. And by the way, I'm Benjamin from Germany and I also like dressing in suits, blah, blah, blah. So basically just very plain, dumb stuff, to be honest.
Wow, though.
And yeah, well, he answered me and we just like had a little bit of an email conversation basically. And at some point, I mentioned that I'm also into like filmmaking and photography and all that stuff. And he asked me if I want to join him at his house in Burgundy in France to film some of the Sartorial Talks episodes for YouTube. And that's what we did.
Really? So you had a part to play in that? Shoot, dude, see that?
Yeah, that was actually, it was actually awesome. We had a co-producer that was Cosmas from Greece.
Yep, Cosmas, yeah. Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Exactly, and that was a lot of fun actually. Like he is a very, very laid back person as well.
Oh yeah,
like he is very like it's awesome to talk to him, but not only because he's laid back, but you can feel with every sentence he's putting together that he just knows so much about classic style, about suits, about shoes. Yeah. That's like phenomenal. He's like a lexicon. Is that an English word?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's an amazing guy. He one of the things that I noticed, and I think maybe it's just the way, I don't think this is normal. I think he goes beyond, but he's so poetic in his speech. And I said, he's kind of Hugo's like the physical manifestation of classical Europe. Like he just exudes this elegance, and for having English is a secondary language, I'm blown away by how poetically he speaks. And I don't know if that's a translation, like how it would translate roughly into French, because I know it's like, French is a very romantic, poetic language, but like I was blown away when I watched him. I went, oh, this guy's so enticing. Like you just want to keep watching.
Actually, his house really reflects himself. That's quite funny because it's like an old European house, with white and gold all over. And it's phenomenal actually. And it was a lot of fun because one episode we were filming together was about wine from Burgundy, and he always shoots episodes in both English and French.
Wow.
And on this day, we had, I think, a wine episode and a champagne episode. And we both had them before noon. So we basically had to drink 2 bottles of champagne and 2 bottles of wine. He opened in one of these episodes, like every time.
Best job.
Before 12 o'clock, basically. So
Best
we were
job.
like, we were having like supper and we were drunk.
Wow, man, what a job, man. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, we have to open another bottle. Oh gosh. Oh no, that's great.
You have to show it on screen how it's done. It's important.
Right,
You know?
exactly. Yeah, you have to. Yeah. You know what? Speaking of that, like with his home and how it reflects it, do you find, because this is what I found, but I want to know your opinion on this. When you get into a kind of classic menswear, sartorial kind of lifestyle, it is a lifestyle. It's more than just the clothing. It's kind of the culture that reflects it. And I noticed that, like, I've always been into old Europe. But, you know, but the thing is, it's, hold on a second. Sorry, someone's asking a question. Check on my, okay. Sorry about that. But, you know, it's something that I've always been into it, but it started to become more, I wanted to research more about Europe and the architecture, because it kind of, there definitely is a reflection. Do you see that with yourself, where there's more than just the style itself, it leads into other aspects of your life, whether it be architecture, furniture, music?
Exactly. It is a cultural thing, as you said, but I would say it actually even more is like a way to approach things.
Yeah.
I would say.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that definitely reflects in other areas of my life and my lifestyle, indeed. Like, I love old architecture.
Yeah.
It's
Same.
It's awesome to live in Germany because, like, I'm born in Aachen, for example, and it's, I think, one of the oldest buildings in Western Germany, the Aachener Dom, a very big cathedral, and you have like old parts of cities that are just incredible. Or also just like around the corner, basically, we have Rothenburg.
Oh, okay.
That is as well. You have to Google it. You have to look at pictures. It is exactly like you would like imagine medieval Germany.
Wow.
And it's phenomenal to have like these places all around.
Yeah.
And it's great also for shooting pictures for Instagram,
Yep.
of course, because it just looks way better.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that too, because you have a really good Instagram, and
Thank you.
and it really I can definitely see how your location does kind of reflect the way you dress, or vice versa, whatever. It's a symbiotic relationship, and that's kind of, I've noticed it's harder here in the United States, at least a lot of places in the United States, not everywhere, but a lot of them, it can be a little bit more difficult to kind of blend into your environment in the way that you dress.
Yeah.
Now, with me, I tend to do it with, I've noticed I gravitate towards a lot of nautical things, not only because of Greece and Italy and Lebanon, and my heritage kind of reflects that nautical nature, but where I live, it's right on the water. There's ocean freighters that come by. There's one of the oldest inn in the state is right up my street. And they actually have decent pizza for being an Irish tavern. You'd think that'd be a sacrilege, Irish pizza, but it's actually surprisingly good. No offense to the Irish.
We have Greek pizza over here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no offense. But yeah, it's but yeah, you know, it's like it reflects in I noticed that it tends to reflect the way you dress. Is something about your environment is going to reflect it, even if you're in a classical style. And I think because a lot of people think that classic style is very plain and drab, but it's actually the complete opposite. And
I think so as well. It's reflected in architecture, and as you said, it's also reflected in many other parts of life.
Yeah.
I think it's probably impossible to be a perfect sartorialist, because you would have to research about everything you want to get or you want to do very in depth, and you probably need a lot of money for it as well. So after all, you have to set priorities to a certain level and think about, like, for me, it's clothing and it's shoes. That's something I love. That's something I love to spend money on. For me, it's also audio equipment, for example. Like, I have €500 headphones, so that's just like
I need to work.
pretty ridiculous, actually. But that's also something where I really love to get like the good things in life,
Yeah.
and I think beverages and food, and there are so many things, furniture.
Yep.
By the way, your home looks
Oh,
phenomenal, I have
thank
to
you.
say.
Thank you. I love the chair, dude. I know we were talking about that.
Thank
And
you.
it's a gorgeous, that green, like we were talking about earlier, can make anything look just like that shade of green. There's something about it. And I think it's mainly it's not only pleasing to the eye, but it's the connotation it has with it. I think when I think
Yeah,
green,
and I was actually able to set it up and construct it, quote unquote, myself. So
no.
that was,
Oh,
it's not IKEA, so it wasn't that easy.
beautiful though. Beautiful. Yeah. And you know what? Speaking of like the way that you interact with things, I've noticed, and this is where it really differs. Like a lot of people think fashion, people into fashion, it's the same kind of across the board, the same ethos, but it can be 100% different. Because you can have the fast fashion, which is, just
Yeah.
buy more, cheap, ever changing, and then this where it's you either buy at thrift stores and you buy vintage pieces, which I know Jordan O'Brien is phenomenal at. I don't know where he goes thrifting, but I know he's on the West Coast, so he's probably got some good thrift stores there. But he can put these pieces together; they're phenomenal, and they're vintage. But the thing is, too, it's sustainable. It's good because it's using things from the past. It's not just disregarding anything old. And I notice with this sartorial style, it is more about obviously quality over quantity, not just for the sake of it, but the whole kind of tradition of how crafts were made, and businesses that are family owned that were passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah.
Like the very oldest way of having a company, companis, right? It's very much this traditional mindset, and it just everything just works, and it falls into its proper place. And I think once you do it with clothing, then you start to see it in other aspects of your life, like you said, with furniture or food or whatever that is. And that's something that I think is really really important. And yeah, so
But it can just be expensive.
Yeah.
Like that's, I think, the point why you have to limit yourself to certain areas, and
Yep.
you cannot live like the perfect life and looking into everything, because that would just be way too much, I think.
Yeah.
But I think it's also like our job basically to look through these brands and companies and these craftsmen and craftswomen in particular as well, who are making stuff and selling it for a fair price that may not be cheap, but it may be fairly priced for what it is. And I think that's something we already do on our channels.
Yeah.
Looking into brands like Colaro, for example, or
Yeah.
you have the Sartoria Corrado trousers and stuff like that. And I think it's important to spread the word about these things, instead of having the 20th Sarah haul on YouTube.
Right, exactly. No, that is it. It's because it is a lot of work to find these brands. A lot of people are like, where do you find them? And I know I apologize to everyone singing forever for they're like, when are you going to do the high rise? Where to find high rise pants. I really went overly ambitious with this one. So just patience is needed, and you guys are so patient. It's awesome. But yeah, it's a lot of work. Like a ton of work trying to find all these brands. But that's the reason I've been mainly spending money just purely on things for my job for this. And it's a lot of it is testing out brands. And I don't get they don't send it to me for free. Most of the time it's just out of my own pocket. They don't even know I'm doing anything, because I want to make it as like, for the most part, I try to, like, at least with the smaller purchases too, I want to make it as like, incognito as possible. Because it's a lot of work. But once you know these brands, it's good to find what you like and be loyal to those people, because they're very small. And I know a lot of people complain about the pricing, but what we were talking about earlier, that's something that I think people don't realize, that this is the real value of these things. The prices that you see in Zara and H&M, that's not a true sense of what value is. We're used to that in today's world because, I'm sorry, but there's a lot of slave labor involved, unfortunately. And if it's not, it's mass produced, it's super cheap material, And when
Everything is globalized, and it's just...
it's harder. When you have a small company that's family owned and they're doing most of the things themselves, the price that you see, it's very hard to go any lower and make a profit. These guys aren't getting rich off of this. So
Absolutely. And I also like, I personally always feel excited actually when I like learn about a brand and I know there are like 5 people sitting somewhere making umbrellas that I can buy, and then I have one of these pieces and I know there was one of these 5 people sitting somewhere in Italy who made this piece for me. Like I think that's just awesome to know. And instead of having something that is mass produced in a Chinese fabric or something.
exactly. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things. I remember when I I have an affiliate with Beckett Simonon. That was my first one. And I remember when I found out that they make the shoes once you order them, then they start making the shoes. And I remember just, it was the weirdest feeling, but it was so interesting going, right now, there's just some dude making, carving it out and going, okay, this order's for him. Or when I had Taylor Store make a shirt, that was one of the first custom shirt brands, and they send you pictures of the process. And I went, oh my gosh, like, it's like this is being made for me. And it felt so old. It felt so traditional and like more meaningful, I guess you'd say, because too, these people, their job is something that is kind of worthwhile, I would think. It's not like just, I don't know, like, I know there's a lot of jobs where you got to do what you got to do. If you got to work at McDonald's or fast food. I worked in fast food when I was younger. You have to, but it's not a fulfilling thing. If you're working a random job, if you're working a random job at a company in a cubicle, and you're like, what am I even? I know a lot of people get that where they're like, what am I doing here? But these people, they're not making a lot, but it's a fulfilling job. So it's just something that really, and it feels good because none of us could save the world, but you can just pick something to kind of, work on, do your part, and then, you're like, okay, this is good. This is good.
And I think the product isn't only meaningful for the craftsman making it, but also for yourself when you bought it. Because one, of course, because of the price, like to stick with umbrellas, I just bought a €280 umbrella by an Italian craftsman. And I would not want to lose this at some restaurant I visit or something, because just no, instead of some Chinese umbrella that I can buy at like a local store or something for $3, even though it's not good to think that way, but I wouldn't really mind losing it.
No, I know what you mean. I've noticed in the beginning it was a little hard because I had to get used to it, but I started buying nicer, higher quality things. And I realized when I'd abuse them, and I was like, oh, I have to stop. Like, I have to be more careful. I have to get shoe trees for my shoes and condition them once in a while, I have to make sure that, I fold my clothes properly. And it just makes you, I've noticed, you get neater when you do it. Like, I've noticed I was much more careful with my things, and it's still a learning curve. I've been a very sloppy human my entire life. So to be almost 30 and then finally change a habit's a little rough, but I am. And I realized like, oh, okay. And of course, like you have to remember, okay, you have to be clean because you don't want nasty oils, that will ruin your clothing. You start to see things with a lot more intention. But it's not hard. It's not hard. You get used to it. Like I was reading this book by Tanner Guzzi, which I recommend to you guys. It's The Appearance of Power by Tanner Guzzi, who I am going to have as a guest in the future. And he was talking about like how it will become effortless. Like as long as you keep practicing, you're going to come to a point where you don't have to think about it. You know what I mean? And I know you're at that point. I'm at that point where it used to be, when I'd get up, you'd have to really think about, okay, what am I gonna, wear, what's gonna go with what, and then all of a sudden, it becomes this point where you don't even have to think about it. You just know what works with what, and you grab it, and you're good, and that's exactly that really helps. But yeah, definitely. So speaking of like the feeling that it has on you, what did it change for you? Like when you started finally dressing nice, just for whatever, just for the sake of, I'm going to make this change. What was one of the key things that you just felt a big change about you in a psychological sense, if you know what I mean. Like, what did it?
I
Did
do.
it make a big change about how you see yourself, how your confidence was? Did it have quite the impact on that?
I think it did to a certain point. Like I have never been the most confident person in my early years, basically. Not that I'm old right now, but you know what I mean. And I think that changed it to a certain point because now when I just like I put on a good suit and I nice tie and I know that I'm wearing quality stuff that looks good, I can look at myself in the mirror and I know, okay, I'm looking good, you know. But I don't know. What also changed is that I started to actually receive random compliments by people on the street. That's something that so many people talked about in these videos, also about like perfumes and you know all that stuff. They were like, you just go out and 100 people approach you and tell you how awesome you are. Like it's not that much, of course, but it's actually funny to see that people actually just talk to a stranger and tell him, hey, I like what you're wearing. That's also something that really surprised me and. It's also something that helps with confidence, of course, because you know who doesn't like compliments.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. No. That definitely is something where it's like I've noticed that too. It's mostly like you get a few times where someone will probably make fun of you. I think a lot of times it could be that they find it funny. I'm not going to deny that. Like it looks different.
Indeed. I had a situation like that not too long ago, actually, when Joost Bohn was visiting me. He's menswear guy. Also, he loves evening wear in particular. But we were here in Ansbach, and we were both wearing a double-breasted suit. We were both wearing necktie, pocket square, and even boutonniere. And we were just like walking around casually, basically. And we also had people at the bus stop, for example, who were just looking at us and laughing. But
Yeah. It's sad.
you know, I'm standing honestly.
Exactly. It is one thing where in the beginning I was like, okay, how do I approach this? And it is more like there's certain people that, you know, you can't say that entirely that, you know, I don't care about anyone's opinion. It's whose opinions matter, right? The people in
Exactly.
your family, people that, you know, you respect. And for us, it'd be the people in the upper sartorial sphere, right? Who we
Yeah.
look up towards. But the average person on the street, you know, I don't care. I'll take a compliment, thank you. But if someone says like, oh, you look, you know, I hear this, you look gay, okay. Like, yeah, wearing a suit it means that I have a different sexual orientation. Okay, then what I have, whatever. But, you know,
Yeah,
you
that's
ignore it.
very weird connotations some people have
Yeah.
actually. Like
Yeah.
only because you dress nicely and maybe groom yourself a little bit, you're gay. Like what the
I know.
fuck?
Yeah. No, that is something that it does make me laugh. And I go, I can't completely say it's insecurity. It could be ignorance, and it could be the tribe, the culture that person's from. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
trying to be more positive about it now than I used to, because before I'd be like, hey, you know, I'm Malacca, you know, but now I'm just like, okay, you know, I'm going to just give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you're just come from a different place, different culture, whatever.
Yeah.
But it does, that
And
is annoying.
ultimately, I don't care nevertheless.
Right,
So
exactly. You go, okay, well, okay, that it is what it is. Whatever. I know who I am, you know, and you know who you are, so we're good.
exactly.
But yeah, and there was something this is kind of maybe off of left field a little bit, but I was looking into watches because we both wear Orient Bambino, right? Yep. So phenomenal watch.
Wait, let's when we're talking about that, let's test the autofocus actually.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, this works.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful
Nice.
autofocus. I don't have it. See, guys, I have to do all this garbage manually, which is why it takes me forever to do actual videos.
Switch to Sony.
Yeah, really. But beautiful camera, but man, is that difficult. But, and watch, I'll be out of focus for the rest of the video. I won't even realize it. But I was looking at watches to invest later on, because right now I don't have the money to spend on a decent watch. I'm looking at a Squale Atmos, I think 50. Beautiful dive watch. Very beautiful. And Ben, my man Ben's here. Did someone say watches? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So there was and it's a beautiful sundial blue, you know, Mediterranean. But also a watch I was looking at to save up for later was I think it's Junghans. The Max Bill.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, my father has actually been wearing Junghans watches for about 30 years.
Really? Isn't that the origin?
Yeah, no joke.
Isn't that the original Bauhaus like style?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
It's beautiful, and
yeah, still made in Germany, and actually very reasonably priced.
yeah.
To be
Oh
fully
yeah.
honest.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah. It was. I said you can get the I know the hand wound at least, which is nice and thin for mechanical movement, and that's under $1,000. So I was like, that's something that in the future is definitely not now, but you know, in the future is something I would actually consider. But then I thought about it because I want to get your opinion on this. Nomos and the Glashut, Nomos and the Max Bill from Junghans, and that German Bauhaus style. It's strange to me because it's modern. You know what I mean? It was Bauhaus is kind of what people think of as modern art, right? Very minimalistic and simplistic, which isn't me. But at the same time, for some reason, these watches attract me like nothing else. Like
I think they are too simple and minimalistic to be actually classic. But on the other hand, well, who cares?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like
It's a style.
I'm also wearing a suit right now with a steel bracelet that's not classic as well.
Right.
So well,
Right.
it's like
Yeah. So would you consider yourself? Do you think it would could you see yourself with like a Nomos or a Junghans or any of those?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think the Junghans Max Bill chronoscope is actually one of the nicest chronoscope watches with some complications and that stuff that I personally know.
Yeah.
It's awesome, I think, and also some of the vintage models from Junghans are very nice as well because they are kind of more refined, I think, in the design. They are like shaped in another way, and I also like that very much. That's just to go on with that story about my father. He had one Junghans watch for like 15 years or something. Actually, what's the English word for like these watches where you have like basically a signal?
Let me see. Are you talking about a patina? Like where it's kind of drawn? No. Say it in German, and I'll grab my translator.
Eine Funkuhr.
Oh, I have no idea how to spell it.
Okay.
Forget it.
Well, that doesn't really matter. But he had one of these for like 15 years or something, and it was actually stolen on Mallorca. That was quite a pity. And a couple of years, like in 2017 or something, I think, he started looking into this topic again, and he bought one, and then he kind of got like addicted, and now he has, I think, 3 or 4 actually. Yeah. And I think 2 of them are actually the same. So if you would want one of these, I could.
Oh my God.
Maybe ask.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's the thing with watches, man. I'm telling you, it's one of those that I was really getting into them, like a lot. I started watching every watch, channel I could.
Teddy Baldassar, very nice.
Oh yeah, Teddy's great, and that one it's that British guy, watchmaker.co.uk. His stuff like off the charts, gorgeous, you know. And I was like, I have to step back because I was getting to this point where I'm like, I was saving up every day for my squale at most 50. And I was like, I can't even afford to even save up. Like, I really got to focus on things that actually are for work and church and whatever else it is that's more important than a watch right now. But they've been on my mind so much. And just to give a little mention, Ben's Watch Club, which is here right now, that is something his stuff, phenomenal, Ben. Like, because I've noticed it's a lot more affordable watches that are really, really cool, that are actually within the range for most of us, right? Or all of us. And one of them was one of those Casios. I forget the name on it, but it kind of has a little bit of a Nautilus kind of shape to it, like the Nautilus. And oh my gosh, so cool, vintage, retro. And I'm like, I could get a gold one. It's digital, but I mean, it's still cool, you know. And but yeah, I'm definitely. Maybe that'll probably be the next watch personally for me. It's just a little Casio, a Casio, something just cheap, but something I can, I don't have to worry about getting beat up. Then again, I beat.
But I
this thing
think
up all the
Brian
time.
Sakawa from He Spoke Style also shows his Casio in every
Yeah.
watch video
Yeah.
he makes. So
Yeah.
honestly, if he wears it, I can wear it.
Yeah, the guy had a Nautilus. The guy had
Exactly.
a Nautilus, and I went, okay, if he's got
He has a Tank American also.
yeah, these insanely good watches, and I went, okay, if he can have one that's like the more expensive
Exactly.
than a new car, and he loves this Casio, then that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, but I think on that note, we both aren't the biggest Rolex fans, right?
No, I used to be. So this is hard for me because with Rolex, I don't know about you, but honestly, with Rolex, it's one of those things where the connotation to it is it can be great as like a I've made it. It is a status symbol, and you can use it as I've made it. This is my gift for being successful in something, right? But at the same time, it's just they're overpriced, and even for how well they're made, they're overpriced. I forget which one. It's got a white dial on it. That one's super cheap. But, oh my gosh, is it the Oyster Perpetual? No. Anyway, I forgot the name of it. But it's like, there's so many other watches to get than a Rolex.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like we were talking about, and I want to tell everyone, your story on going to see the Jaeger LeCoultre Reverso.
The Reverso, yeah.
And I'll just show you guys really quick. I don't think we might have sound, but I'll just show you what it looks like, just so you guys can get a... So hopefully you guys can see that. But yeah, the Reverso is a beautiful watch. Beautiful watch. And so you went into to see what was it? Jaeger LeCoultre's watches, right?
Yeah, I was at Nuremberg, pretty close to where I live, actually. Beautiful city, by the way. And I went to this store, and together with Joost, actually, who I talked about before. Yeah. And we were there, and we both really liked the Reverso because it's just a phenomenal watch. Yeah, like you can't say anything else about it. Yeah. And we went in there and asked like the lady like, hey, can we take a look at the Reverso? And she said, yeah, okay. And we were like expecting her to like guide us to one of these glass thingies where we can just like look through the glass and see the watch basically. But she was like away for like 15 minutes or 10 minutes and came back with like a big tablet where like 15 or 16 different Reverso models were on. And we were like absolutely blown away to see like all these watches like exactly in front of us. And then she was like, yeah, if you want to, you can try them on, put them on your wrist and take a couple of pictures if you want. And that was kind of the point where I wanted to make clear, hey, yeah, I'm sorry, but we won't buy a watch for a couple of €1,000 now.
Right.
And she was like, yeah, I know, don't worry. Do you want to have a glass of champagne with me? That was a phenomenal experience, actually. And that was also when I left this store, I said to myself that if I'm gonna buy a Reverso at some point, I will buy it at this store, just because of how they treated me.
Yep. See, that's how it is. That's how it is. It's more to the experience of stuff like that, which you don't get anymore, or it's very rare. It becomes more and more rare. And I know it's the same thing. So here's the deal. I talk about tailoring clothing. I don't go to a tailor. I do it myself, or my mother's friend has tailored a few of my trousers before, did a phenomenal job. But I don't have a tailor to go to. I've never acquired a bespoke suit or anything, or gone into. So the only store I've been into, like personally, is like Men's Warehouse, and that's not
no
because
suit supply.
Right, yeah. I don't have a suit supply near me. Like it's,
okay.
I think the nearest one is Chicago, and that's like a 4-hour.
Oh well, that's nice in Europe, actually.
Yeah. See, yeah, and we don't have it, at least we're in my state. So I'm like, I've never done it, but I really do like whenever I hear stories, at least in a lot in Europe, where it's like you sit down, and in The Italian Gentleman, I know by Hugo's book, talks about that. They'll sit down, they'll have wine, or coffee, you'll talk, and it's just this, it's the whole experience that goes around it.
Yeah.
So it's more than just the product itself, which is, and I know for us, we're getting so much of our stuff online. Most of our suits and stuff come from, somewhere where we don't live. But I can tell you this, as cool as that is, I would rather have the experience in person.
Me too, absolutely.
Because I don't know about you, but yeah, it's so much better, or at least
Yeah.
because there's an extra connection there that you don't get
Absolutely,
online.
absolutely. That's actually also what I just love about Southern Europe, in like
Yeah.
Italy and Spain, and all these countries. It's just a different way of approaching clients. I have that feeling, and it's like it's way more personal and emotional as well, if that makes sense. And it's just like closer linked to the person rather than the product you are buying.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that I never went to Italy. I went to.
We will.
Yeah, yep, we will. Because I've only been to southern Greece, the Peloponnese, and that was the best time I ever had, and I wanted to live there. I've been wanting to live there for years, but probably not going to happen, unfortunately. But I would like to. But I want to go to Italy, and we've talked about this for like what? 2 years, almost 2 years now.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2
actually,
years.
Yeah.
If everyone in the
But
chat,
we had COVID kicking in.
right?
So.
Yeah, we were gonna go to PT Uomo, and that's in Milan, correct?
No.
No, Florence.
It's in Florence.
Florence. Yeah. I know it's in northern Italy. I just knew it was in northern Italy somewhere. And man, that's the dream. That is the dream for I think a lot of us sartorialists, especially if one of us or both of us start our own brands. And hey, you never know. I'm just saying, you never know what's going to happen. You don't know what's happening behind closed doors.
Exactly.
But certain brands could be coming out in the future. Some nice trousers or suits. Anyway, but that's a talk for another day. That is something that I've definitely wanted to do. And you've been to, I know at least, you've been to Italy.
I was.
Where have you gone in Italy? Which cities?
I've been to Verona. That was actually very, very nice because it is a pretty touristic city, I would say, but it's not as touristic as Venice, for example, where I've been to, and that's just like, well, it's still Italy, but it's kind of just a sellout for foreigners.
Yeah.
Up to some point, like there are very, very like beautiful and nice stores also in Venice, but like I would say the main part of it is rather about profit than actually the experience.
Yep, absolutely.
But Verona was extremely nice, and I've been to Milan as well.
Okay,
it was also quite great. I've actually visited a Tom Ford store there.
Oh, really?
It was quite
really?
funny.
Tom Ford?
Yeah, they had like an elevator that was covered in velvet. That was quite funny.
That's the most Tom Ford thing ever. Of course, he's gonna go extra.
Yes, absolutely.
With velvet, like
But
George Costanza.
I've been there with my school class in Italy, and when we were going to like all these cities, we were always like starting extremely early, going there by bus and that stuff, So basically, when we arrived there, it was just about morning for me, and I really needed coffee. And so every time we went somewhere, the first thing I did was, hey guys, let's just get a coffee somewhere. And I also did that in Milan. And the problem was, I read a review about this cafe where we wanted to go to, and it's basically said very good coffee and not on the expensive side. And I was like, yeah, okay, that sounds great. We went there. We had like a red carpet covering the floor. We had like these super big lamps and lights hanging on the ceiling, and like paintings covered in gold and that stuff. We had one guy who approached us as a group, and he was actually wearing a tuxedo. That's something I really love.
Oh.
And he was like, hey, here's your table. I'm your waiter for today. So he really was assigned to our table. We were like 5 people.
This is a cafe?
And yeah, after all, like a cappuccino was, I think, like €8 or €9. But honestly, this experience was worth it.
Oh my gosh. Shoot.
Yeah.
That's a
That
cafe?
was Torre Monte Napoleano. I think that was the
Oh
name.
my gosh. And that's a cafe?
That was funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
Italian. Of course.
Yeah.
Just so they can say, I swear, it's just so they can say, you know, cafes are nice and name a country, but Italian cafes are better. Like, I swear. But, you know, that's what makes it great, you know. But yeah, there is, what was it? I was gonna ask you another question. Oh, yeah. So you're into what brands? Because we tend to like a lot of the same brands, but there's quite a bit that I haven't covered because I have no experience with that you have.
Yeah.
So I know, for example, there's Yeosol, there's Poshetka, right? And Poshetka is the Polish.
Poshetka is phenomenal, for example.
Yeah.
I think Lanieri. Have you tried them?
No, I have not.
Yeah. And I have some awesome stuff coming up in the near future actually. Grams 28 will be a phenomenal collaboration about some leather bags and wallets and that stuff. That will be real great, I think.
Nice.
And I will actually, as dumb as that is, I will actually have a Turnbull and Esser shirt coming up in the near future.
There you go.
But that's definitely more on the luxury side of the spectrum. Like it is a lot of craftsmanship as well, but I think you also pay for the name at Turnbull and Esser. I would guess, you know.
Yeah.
For gentlemen, another very nice brand from Poland, exactly as Poshetka. But that's also like, for you, it would be like rather intelligent to shop at Spear and Mackay, for example, because you don't have to pay any taxes there. On the other hand, I have to pay quite high taxes when ordering from Spear and Mackay.
Right.
When ordering at Poshetka, I don't have to because it's European Union.
Right,
so
exactly.
That's probably also why we cover different brands in the first place.
Yep. And you know what? One country that I always have, I've never ordered from is the UK, because I think I get so depressed when I see the conversion of pounds to US dollars. Because I was looking at, oh my gosh, Natalino trousers, right? Gorgeous. And from the UK, and they're beautiful fit. And I was looking at them and I'm like, oh, you know, these ones are on sale. They're normally around 190, 200 quid. And so I was like, oh, these ones are like 140 pounds. I'm like, that's amazing. I can afford that. That was like 200 US bucks. And I was like, oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's on sale. So
But actually, the conversion rate got better during over the last couple of months, because that's actually quite funny. I have a coffee subscription in Great Britain, so I receive like 2 bags of coffee every month, like full beans that I can just like use for coffee and that stuff.
Right.
And like month for month, the price I paid dropped.
Oh wow, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I'll try if it keeps going down, because British pounds is very different. When I order from Singapore, it's always the most satisfying, because Singaporean bucks.
Absolutely,
it's like
I love it.
like with Calaro, I was like $350 for just the fabric, no add-ons, and then I convert it, and it's like,
And then it's just 200.
and you're like, and I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, it really does. Like, that's always, you know, it's not really a thing, but it's just in your head. You're like, okay, that just sounds so much better to see the number go down so much. Yeah, I love when that happens. But I'm trying to find the problem for me is finding brands from the U.S. I know Spear McKay is Canadian. Now I'm right smack there. It's literally, I can almost see Canada from my house. Southern Canada. I'm not in the Arctic. But great country though. Anyway, but for you, do you know of any particular brands from Germany specifically that you found? Has there been any discovery there, like actual German brands?
Well, there's Shoe Passion for sure, but they make their shoes in Spain, so that's not. It's partly German, if you want so.
Yeah.
Besides German clothing brands, not too many. We have Heinrich Dinkelacker. That's a shoe brand as well, but I think they are actually made in Hungary, so that's also not quite German. I think the German clothing brand is Trigema.
Okay.
If we have any German viewers, they will know them, but they are more like cringe.
Okay. Okay. All
So
right.
like classic style made in Germany is quite hard to find, I think. But just take a look at Bernhard Rötzel's Instagram profile, and he will probably have them linked all over the place. So it's probably just that I don't know them,
Right.
rather than they don't exist.
Right.
Oh, what we definitely have is JR outsoles, Johann Rendenbach.
Yep. JR.
That
Yep.
for sure. Made in Trier, if I recall it correctly. Phenomenal company as well.
Nice. Okay, good. So have you noticed, so this is something I've been trying to figure out, because I know there's the Italian style, which is actually, it depends, obviously, as you know from Hugo's book and maybe elsewhere, that really depends on where
Exactly.
you are in Italy, right?
Yeah.
Then we have, the traditional English style, whether it be city or country. And then you have French, which I know Hugo talks about, is kind of like in between. It's kind of
Yeah.
when it comes to styles like Northern Italian and the English styles. And I mean, it makes sense. But what about Germany? Do you know if Germany has any sartorial, not nuances, but its own distinct style within that? Or do you think it's more for Germans and Germany just more close to English style or French style or something like that?
I would say so, because we actually don't have that many bespoke tailors in Germany left anymore. Like one that I know in Berlin, it's James Whitfield, and he's actually from Savile Row and moved to Berlin. So that's very English style. And I would say besides, Germans tend to go for a more structured style, like padded shoulders, and I would also say rather long jackets, what I personally like. And yeah, but I think this like Italian nonchalance, this like unstructured approach, and like having something that is actually super comfy, that's not really the German way of thinking.
I was going to say that. I was actually going to say that. And that's one thing that I've come to really embrace, is that as much as I like the Italian style, it goes with who I am, and it goes with my Mediterranean kind of culture and heritage and way of life. And it's not for everyone. And
No, I also I also love English style. Like, it's not something
Beautiful.
that I would wear in Italy.
Right. Yeah.
But no, you know what I mean. Like it really fits England
It
and
does.
like continental Europe, like most parts of Europe in general, because it's structured.
The tweeds.
It always
and
gives me this feeling of like being in London, having like these awesome buildings all around you, like tall buildings, and you're just like very like good posture, and you're just like walking through the street and feeling like $1,000,000. Like that's awesome. Like that English style can do that, but it just doesn't fit every part of the world and every person.
Exactly. And I think that was one thing I've noticed. There's a lot of really good Swedish brands, and they lean very heavy on the Italian style, a lot of them. And I love it. I have some Surf Sweden white linen trousers, and they're beautiful, and they're very Italian in their cut. And as cool as that is, I hope this doesn't just become a trend of like, I think, it's cool when a country finds its own place that is unique to it. Like I said, I love the Italian style. I personally, it's what I wear, and I gravitate towards the most, but it's not the only thing. And I know, like, it makes sense though, because if you think about it, at one point in Italy, a suit was English completely because it came from England. You know what I mean? So it does take time to form its own identity. And I know it's the same thing with, not as much as Germany, but definitely more extreme in East Europe. There is almost no sartorial culture because, I mean, if you look at it, like I was looking at old pictures of Greece back in the 20s, or not just the 20s, but, the early 20th century. And there were still men wearing vraka. They were wearing all the traditional clothing, whatever it be, fustanella. I think that's the name for it. The skirt, like the kilt, the tunic, right? The white one. And they were still wearing that. All these old papus, and they had their canes and stuff, and they were wearing their vests with the bullets in it. And I was like, it's so cool. But so
Yeah.
you can tell it's a very recent thing, modern Western clothing, because they're not from the West.
Exactly.
So it takes a while. And I know for Greece,
Yeah.
I'm hoping to see more tailors. I just found one that Hugo went to in Athens. V Bespoke, I think I think that's the name for it. And they make some beautiful stuff, and it seems very Italian influence. And that's the one point when I go, okay, obviously you have to find your own identity, but if Greece, for me, I'm like, they should pull from the Italians. Una faccia, una razza, one face, one race. There's a lot of commonalities in culture, and I think it would translate very well there in the hot climate, the very, using your hands and just very nonchalant. But for Germany, I definitely think it's good that, structured jackets that really fits that kind of the German ethos, right? And
somehow, yeah. But what you said about Eastern Europe, I'm very happy that like many Eastern European countries are actually coming up with great brands and great tailors and that stuff at the moment. Like Poszetka from Poland, for example, I think when I first found out about them, I think that was like 3 years ago. They just made ties and pocket squares, and now they are basically a full clothing retailer with a lot of stuff made in Poland with great styles and great fabrics. And they are one of my favorite brands, to be fully honest. Like their safari jackets, their neckties, that's also Poszetka necktie, for example. So they really have phenomenal stuff. And also bespoke tailors, like in Bratislava in Slovakia, where my family comes from.
Right, yeah.
We have Maximilian Muchka, for example. Awesome tailor. I also visited him a couple of weeks ago. Phenomenal guy. And in Prague, in the Czech Republic as well, Salon Hartl, for example. So there are really like, it's a slow process, but there are like people and brands and tailors coming also in the Eastern European realm.
Yeah, it's really nice because the thing I was struggling with is I love how Eastern Europe, for the longest time, whether it be Greece or just the Balkans or north of the Balkans, they've kept their identity for a very long time, especially with their traditional clothing. So it is sad. There is a sadness, I find, that it's gone. But here's the thing. If it's gone, most likely it's not coming back. And they're wearing Western clothes. So if you're wearing Western clothes, you might as well do it the best you can and start with the tailoring. And, you know what I mean? And doing what all these other new brands, like you just mentioned, from Eastern Europe are doing. It'd be nice because it's like, like I said, if you're not wearing literally the traditional clothes or the evolved version of your traditional clothes and you've started a new one, master that tradition as well. And it will kind of bring a sense of the old world back, and it's really cool. And you love to see it. And I know Poszetka, you recommended to me that one brown, beautiful linen pinstripe suit.
Yeah.
Dude, I had no money at the time, or I didn't have money I was that close to, I put it in my, in the checkout, and I almost clicked it, and I went, you know what? I can't afford it right now, but that was such a gorgeous suit. Such a gorgeous suit.
Absolutely. Also, their overcoats are so nice because they actually are long.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard to find overcoats with a proper length and ready to wear.
Yep.
Like, it's actually impossible. It's not hard, it's impossible.
It really is. And it's the same, as you know, with suit jackets. Oh, my gosh. I can't tell you how many times I found a great brand and an Italian brand. I'm like, okay, they got what I want. They got the wide peak lapels, but they're unstructured and they look casual enough for me to wear on like a daily basis that I'm comfortable with. And then you would see half the ass, and I'm like, it don't look right. It just don't look right. And this jacket here from Taliatore, I'd like it an inch longer. And then my other jackets, though, from Taliatore, perfect length, perfect. But there's always something different about it that I don't like. This would be perfect for me if it just had that 1 extra inch. And I'm like, I wish these brands were more consistent in that. And because that's the one thing, it's the length that really does kind of, I don't think people understand just even how much an inch can change the look of a jacket for the better. Like, I'm not into long jackets per se, but just enough for me to cover your butt. And then it actually looks like a proper jacket, right? But it can still look casual.
But I still would say, like, it's rather better to have the jacket slightly long than short.
Yep.
In my opinion.
And I got these shorter jackets, and I just go, man, I just wish I didn't. But like, they fit all the other things on my check mark. But that's why it's been very hard for me to find a suit recently. I don't know about you.
That's why it's hard for us to find brands,
Yeah,
you know?
yep.
That's exactly the point.
There's always something. There's always something.
Exactly.
And that's another thing. Have you noticed as you've gotten more into this, how much pickier you've gotten? Because I know for me,
Yeah,
it's a problem, man.
absolutely.
I mean, I don't know if it's a problem. I guess if you look at it this way, it stops us from buying as much stuff.
I would actually say it isn't a problem at all because it's good to it's actually good to be picky because you want to buy something that you actually wear. You want to get a lot of wear out of it to somehow like get the price down, quote unquote, like on a wear basis, I would say. And if you would just buy everything, that wouldn't work, I think.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So, all right, guys, we're going to start taking questions now. I think it's a good time to. We've been going for an hour exactly, at least from what my clock here says. So, guys, just start putting in your questions to Benjamin or even myself. And yeah, just start asking away and we'll get to them as soon as we can. And while we're waiting, because there is like a 30-second delay, guys, with this, because I didn't want the stream to look really bad. So there is quite the delay. So while that's going on, tell me what you have on. I want, like, your suit, your tie, where they come from. I was just interested ever since you put that phenomenal suit on.
Thank you, thank you. So this suit is made by Oliver Wicks. It's one of their older ones that was still made in Bulgaria. Now they transferred to Portugal, and the suits actually got better since this transfer.
Nice.
So, but it still is a great piece, I would say.
Good.
It's a Super 150s wool by Vitale Barbaris Canonico.
There you go.
And yeah, phenomenal. Tie is Poshetka. It's a silk tie, but it's not too shiny in my opinion. Like it's kind of matte, and that's something I do like quite a lot. The pocket square is from Oliver Wicks as well. Rust color. I think rust just goes with everything, so really nice. Always works. What else do we have? Shirt by Lanieri.
Nice.
Actually. And bracelet, Azuro Republic. Very nice brand, actually, and I just love wearing bracelets, so that works.
Nice.
And yeah, that's it. And penny loafers at the moment, Burgundy by Dieter Kuckelkorn. That's actually also a German brand, but made in Spain again.
Right, yep. And then the ties, like you said, is it Poshetka for the tie? Yep. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, no, it's, you know what, speaking of bracelets, that's something I'm obviously not doing right now, but I'm trying to find the right ones, and I'm trying to find some different chains as well. I think I've been wanting a gold chain for a while now.
I wanted to go into that topic as well. I love chains actually, but I don't.
Yeah. You know, it's one of those things where I don't want to go cheap and get like some just cheap one, but man, can they be expensive?
You should make a video about it that I can watch.
Yeah. No, I plan on it because I plan on getting. I was looking at them, even on eBay and stuff like that, and some nice chains, especially after watching this. Sounds hilarious, but my buddy Nick, who's probably in here now, total Balkan dude, and he's got a few gold chains on, and I went, that just looks good. My grandpa wears them. You know, he's Greek Sicilian, so I'm like, he wears, you know, the gold chains, and then I'm like, I need one. I watched Scarface, and they got them. I'm like, you know what? Something's missing here, man. and you never know when, actually, if it's real gold, that can be currency, especially in economic hardships. You know, people are more willing. I read there's a book on this guy who he survived Argentina during the Argentinian collapse, and he said, "Where jewelry is actually your friend here, because that's the thing you're going to end up using as currency, more than the dollar itself." So I went, maybe it is actually smart to invest in a little bits of jewelry, you know, that you can hide. You know, you don't have to show it, but then in times of need, you know, you can, just in case, because I don't know. I always like to be prepared. Most likely, God willing, won't need it, but yeah. Okay, so we got a few questions going now. So, okay, from Lorraine Carlson. What's up, Lorraine? All right, what current TV shows inspire your style or film? Benjamin, I'll let you take this.
Oh, well, I would, with the suit I'm wearing right now, I have to say Kingsman, I guess.
Ooh, yeah.
But it is, I think I really like the style. There are some things that I don't quite like. The bulky tie knots, for example, are just not for me, and some other points about their style as well. But just generally, this like British style, double-breasted suits, stripes, nice umbrella, nice overcoat is just something I really, really like. And I also want to acquire more suits that go into that direction. Yeah, so Kingsman, absolutely. I think you watched it for sure, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The Kingsman, that was one thing I was like, I was really enjoying about that. I was like,
Yeah.
and you know what? That gave me a better appreciation for a British style. Like even more, it looked
Okay.
a lot more badass than I thought it would. And it definitely shows. It depends on who's wearing it, but it's like it really. I went, okay, this can be like I normally I would not like at all a plain gray double-breasted British style suit. It looks so good. It looks so flipping good on that on the screen, and I went, oh my gosh, that actually.
Yeah,
I was tempted to get one. I was like, actually, that looks really good. Not my style, so I wouldn't end up pulling it off. But I went. I really learned to appreciate it a lot more. Personally,
Yeah, I think same goes for Peaky Blinders.
yeah,
Also,
yeah. Oh gosh, man. I think that's what got undercuts popular. I think that really started because I remember hearing like on an interview like on season 1, and they were talking about how when they first saw the haircuts, they went, "There's no way I'm going in public like that. You got to be crazy." And I went, "Oh my gosh, this was before undercut. This is what got the undercut to take off because they thought like people are gonna laugh at you, but then it became the coolest thing." Which is why if I get into actual full-length feature films, you definitely know I'm going to start making characters dress nice, because then that's what film gets people to do it, man. I tell you, film is what really influences people to actually start changing the way they dress. For me...
And Cillian Murphy just looks dope in the series. Just,
oh my gosh, he looks dope in it. He looked dope as the Scarecrow. I mean, that guy's like, he's got them piercing eyes, man. Such a good actor, and Tom Hardy.
He's an awesome. He's like on the same level with Benedict Cumberbatch for me. Like these are such phenomenal British actors. I really love it.
Oh yeah.
Or Idris Elba as well.
Yep.
And
oh, he's a Chad amongst men.
Yeah.
You know what? For me, for current TV shows, other than Peaky Blinders, which I don't think it changed the way I dress, but it's definitely something I absolutely love. But for me, that inspired my style is definitely Goodfellas, a lot of gangster films, Scarface actually for the summer style, and The Gentleman. What a phenomenal movie. And not only a great movie, but the style in that, like I said, I got that tracksuit from, that's actually from Lonsdale, the guys who made it for the film. You know, what all the guys, was it the toddlers wear them? And yeah, what a phenomenal looking tracksuit. That's when I went, I don't have a tracksuit, but I went, I'm getting that. If it's got a traditional English pattern on it that's normally for suits, heck yeah. So I'd say, the Gentleman, Scarface, maybe The Godfather a little bit, but Goodfellas, definitely Goodfellas.
Oh, and what I love as well are many of these older Alfred Hitchcock movies. Also phenomenal.
Oh my gosh, like
To Catch a Thief, for example, with Cary Grant is just.
Love that, and just the atmosphere he was in, because he was in Europe. I was like, gosh, man, that just made it. That film, freaking love it. I actually saw that for the first time about probably 3-4 months ago, I'm guessing, and I loved it. Great movie, and I was just
great,
I was bawling over what he was wearing. I'm like, that.
Also, like just the landscapes and the buildings. So
when he's like near
this
when he's near that cafe or whatever outside, and he's on this like plaza. I was like, you can take me there, man. Take me there, guys. You got to see To Catch a Thief if you haven't yet. Oh, man, so good.
Agreed.
So good. So, all right, wow, we're getting quite a few questions. This is great, guys. Hey, I'm glad you guys are thumbing this up right now. And also, before I go into more of it, this isn't going to be on permanently on this channel. It's going to, I'm going to take it off, and it will be only available on Patreon. So make sure, guys, that you go and check out the Patreon. And support the channel. Not only will you get this and other bonus features on the Patreon, but it helps support me so I can do all this ad-free. All right, so and we're almost
for me, as someone who's into filmmaking as well, I have to say your Patreon is really worth every penny.
Oh, thank you, dude.
I think I didn't tell you actually, but I actually bought these aerosol thingies, these like haze cans. I actually bought
Oh,
them
you
after I
did?
watched
Oh,
your Patreon video.
dude, I'm telling you, man, those are a game changer, an absolute game changer. I love using haze now. I'm like, that's like the light rays you can get from using haze is phenomenal. So yeah, guys, see, you heard it here. All right, it's good. And there's lighting tutorials, and there's going to be a bunch more coming out in the near future. And a podcast where I talk about stuff I won't talk about on, this channel. A little controversial. Ben could tell you. It's a little. Some of it's a little.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, no, yeah. Anyway.
Crispy.
Yeah, very extra crispy. All
Yeah.
right, here's a question from Jordan O'Brien. What's up, Jordan? Demetrios, Benjamin, being sartorial people like yourselves, do you use shirt stays? You know I'm a big fan of them. Hey, boy. So I used to use shirt stays. And if we're talking, wait, okay, I got a mind fart. Shirt stays are not collar stays. We're talking shirt stays. Is that the where it clips to your shirt and then goes to your...
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, if we're talking about that, then I do have a pair. And I did a video on shirt stays that I did. And I loved them in the beginning. And then I stopped wearing them because I didn't need to. And then after that video, I ended up wearing them all the time. And I actually really, really liked them. They were comfortable. They didn't bother me at all. But then I stopped again for a few reasons. One, I wear hardly any socks throughout the year. I'm really I don't wear socks. And if I do, my winter socks now, they're over the calf and they don't slip down, hardly ever. So I don't really need them, at least for the socks and for the shirts. My shirts tend to be now dress shirts, long, meant to be tucked in, and my pants are high rise. So they never get untucked. Would they look a lot smoother? Probably. But someone told me the more quality, like the more adjustments people make to the specific socks or the shirts and the pants, the less you need them. But I think they are still, actually, I still think some people are like, oh, it's gimmicky. It's not really gimmicky. I mean, the military uses them, and that tells you something. I know our Marines use them. And when I worked at a restaurant being a waiter, and I had to wear a dress shirt, a tie, and nice shoe, black leather shoes and trousers, and you're going around picking up stuff, and it helps so much. So on a practical scale, they're extremely helpful. But I haven't worked at the restaurant in a while, so I generally don't wear them as much anymore. But I actually, when they work, they work. So yeah, Benjamin, what are your thoughts on them?
I actually sign your answer for 100%. Like I've never tried them, but I wear over-the-calf socks most of the time. When I wear socks, like in the summer, I mostly don't, but over-the-calf socks, they don't really need any assistance for staying up. My shirts are long because they are dress shirts. I wear high-rise pants, which are mostly in some way adjusted for my measurements. And I never really had the feeling that I would need a shirt stay.
Yeah. So I definitely say, yeah, when you're starting out maybe, and it all depends. Like I think they're good in certain aspects, and then in certain aspects you don't need them. But I'm not they're not bad. Definitely not bad. And yeah. And they're really good. They can be very, very good and very helpful. Okay, Zimuro, if I'm going to roll my R's, there's 3 R's in there. Thoughts on Luxire, please. Thinking about trying...
Oh my gosh.
Thinking about trying my first high-rise pants there. Okay. Benjamin, yeah. But you don't have any experience with Luxire, do you?
I don't. I'm very sorry, but you have to do the talking.
Oh, I'm going to make this quick because, I could go on forever. Okay, so I have 2 Luxire trousers right now, high rise, and a third one on its way. That should have been here weeks ago, and the ones before that. I'm going to do a video on them on my high rise series, but for you guys, I'm going to do a little bit of a spoiler alert, okay? What you don't pay for in price, you pay in with risk. It's the equivalent of going to the guy in the back alley for meds. Like, if going to a good, reputable tailor is going to, like, the pharmacy or your doctor to get your pills, this is the guy in the back alley selling it through his jacket. Like, he might give you a deal, but you're taking a risk. I'll tell you what. My trousers came out looking beautiful, very well made. Did they make mistakes? Absolutely. Will they refund you? No. Are they late on orders? Absolutely. I had to email them twice, like almost a month later, and say, hey, where's my order? And they're like, oh, sorry, we forgot to send it out. And they guarantee 3-day service. So that's a lie. And when I tried to get a refund for a pocket square, they charged me, didn't send me anything, denied it was basically, guys, I battled in an email with them for a whole year at Luxire. And to come to some sort of conclusion, and they stole $60 from me. And when I mean stole, they denied, like they would not give me back my money, even though they never sent. They took my money and they didn't ship out anything. And they said, no, it's we don't have it in stock, sorry. And I said, well, give me my money back. And they wouldn't, and I had to get the bank involved. And then finally, a year later, someone else took over the email and fixed it all for me. They're like, here's your receipt, sorry, or, you know, here's your money back, sorry about that, yada, yada. But I've had, like, I mean, talk about, like, tempting, because great fabric, really well made, and I'm talking 100% customizable. But the problem is, sometimes the fit's way too tight, and you're like, what the hell? These aren't the measurements I gave you. Very bad, horrible at communication. And just overall, it's a risk. Let me just put it that way. If you're low on money and you want to risk it, sure, yeah, you might spend extra money in the end, but, getting a second pair or whatever. But, yeah, if you want to risk it, that's up to you. That's all I'm going to say right now. Okay. Love Spear and McKay just got their new tweed field jacket. This is from Graham Grenardi.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those on the website. What I also saw are some of their knitted stuff that they have right now. It looks so good, actually, like cashmere turtlenecks with like cable knit patterns and so on.
Oh, yeah.
Like phenomenal stuff. If the taxes wouldn't be, I would order much more from them, but
I gotta get on.
I think I can spoiler that not this Saturday, but the Saturday after this Saturday. I will have a video about Spear and McKay coming up on my channel, so that will be quite interesting.
Awesome. Can't wait to see that, dude. Can't wait to see it. Any advice for durable clothes for the brutal Canadian winters? Okay, so I am not in his probably area. I don't know where in Canada you are. Like I said, I'm in Michigan, right on the border of southern Ontario, the most southern point of Canada, I think. So the winters here aren't nearly as bad as, once you go north into Quebec and all that stuff in Toronto. But what I can say is we get brutal winters here every once in a while where it's just like insane. So what I tend to do is, I did a video actually, it's an old one, but it's on layering in the brutal cold, because I recorded this video like 2 years ago when we had the coldest day I've ever seen. The high was 1 degree Fahrenheit. So I'm trying to do the calculation for that, hold on, because that was the high of the day. Hold on a second. F to C. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to learn Celsius, guys. I know it makes way more sense, and I'm really trying to learn it.
Or we just both use Kelvin and both don't know what
exactly.
we're talking about.
Let's use Kelvin and just end it. Okay, so that's the high was negative 17 degrees Celsius. It was, it was hell. They're like, don't go outside, don't do that. I've never experienced that. A lot of winters, it doesn't even get that low. And that was the high. So I went outside, layered up, and went out there for like 15, 20 minutes, and I was totally fine. So you can watch that one. You'll see me in like a balaclava, and it's snowing, and it says like how to dress for the brutal winter, cold or something like that. Yeah, check that out. What I do generally is just layer up, man. Remember to wear thick socks, right? Thick socks.
On that note, one nice tip actually is going for lined boots, like a shearling lined or something. That's actually very nice.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Fur-lined coats, if you have them.
Yeah.
I have a suede, kind of like a military, almost like a bomber jacket, and I got it at a thrift store for like $1, and it's tobacco brown, and it's got in the video we did together for the winter, you see it for a split second, and it's lined with fur. And I took that when I was hunting up in northern Michigan, and it's cold. It is freezing up there, and I was warm as all get out. I wore nice, thick socks that kept me warm, suede boots, which, spoiler, do not get ruined in the snow like a lot of people think. I've never had a problem with suede and snow, and I was not cold at all. Definitely a long overcoat, cover your ears. I've been wearing beanies a lot now. My mom's been making me, she's been crocheting a bunch of beanies like in blues and, you know, browns and greens. And they add a nice flair to a sartorial style if they have a nice color. A little bit, obviously casual, but it covers your ears, right? So if you're in the brutal cold, yeah, check out my video on layering in the winter. Because yeah, it was cold the day I tested it, and I was absolutely fine. And I got even better stuff like those corduroy pants from Corrado. Oh my gosh, those keep me super toasty. So yeah, stuff like that definitely works. I'll probably do another video on how to layer in the winter. Okay, here by Jared Wirtz. I hope I'm pronouncing that last name correctly. I'm a little hard on my clothes, can relate, and have been looking for a stronger trouser material. Would you suggest wool or linen? Benjamin, what do you think on this?
I would say cavalry twill.
Yeah. Twill, definitely. Yeah. And like tweeds, so for winter fabrics, it gets easier because winter fabrics are a lot tougher.
Absolutely. Like you can just get a Harris tweed that is basically that thick, and you're good to go.
These people took them in the country, right? Hunting. So Harrison tweed. Yeah, Harris tweed.
I think for summer fabrics, I think seersucker is actually quite sturdy.
Yeah, seersucker can, if it's the right thickness. What I've had, I'm rough on my clothes too, Jared. Like really rough. But it gets hot as balls. Pardon my French. It gets really hot here in the summer. So, like, I really have to make sure that I'm really maximizing my comfort. So summer wools are going to be a lot more delicate. I go for linen. I've had some pants tear on me. Never had 100% linen pants tear on me. I've had cheap linen pants that were half linen, half viscose, and they tore right at my thigh, right in the inner thigh, okay? So thank God I wear underwear. That's all I'm saying when that happened. But you know, like, so that's bad. But that was cheap linen and it's part viscose. 100% a good, like an Irish linen or a thick linen.
That's what I wanted to say. Irish linen is so sturdy, actually.
You're not going to have to worry about that.
Like my Yosso, where are they? Here. Like these are so sturdy, actually. These tobacco linen pants, they aren't actually thin. You always think like linen is super thin fabric. It actually isn't. These are quite thick, but phenomenal trousers, very sturdy.
Yeah.
Recommend.
Okay, yeah. See, yeah, linen definitely. It's if you want to take the advantage of the heat property or like the cooling properties of linen, just know thick linen that's loosely woven is going to be better than tightly woven and thin, right? Definitely I'd go for linen if you're talking about stronger trousers. I have to say, as much as I crapped on Luxire, my two trousers that I have currently, one's a cotton linen mix that's like 10, 11 ounces. And then my other ones that are like they're a teal color. They look like Greek traditional vraka. That's what my Byzantine instructor Demetrios told me. He's like, those look like Greek vraka. And they're 100% linen. Those are thick, durable as all get out. Like I've never had a problem. So yeah, definitely I'd go with linen. Okay, Zach says, hi guys, what would you recommend to a young sartorial enthusiast just turning 18 and I live in Peru? Ooh, Peru, nice. Okay.
Wow, yeah.
Benjamin, I think this would go really well for you because you're only like 2 years older than this dude. So, this nice young man. So, yeah.
I've never been to Peru, but yes, indeed, I have kind of been into this sartorial game. I was 18, and I think it's important to make mistakes at that level when you're just starting, because like there are many like also like style YouTubers and that stuff who just tell you don't buy this, don't buy that, this is wrong, you cannot wear this because it's not correct or something. And I think like you can have as many people as you want telling you that stuff. It's super important that you actually buy these things and see yourself, okay, that doesn't make any sense. And that's also why I think it can be a good idea to start buying at rather cheap brands in the beginning, where it's not as bad for your wallet when you make a mistake. Like I had a suit made by Hockerty, for example, and I just went without a chest pocket, and that was extremely dumb. But I didn't realize that at first, and now I know, okay, if that would have been like €1,000 suit, I would be quite pissed.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I was going to say that too. As much as we both talk about going with a brand that's very, of high quality and you get what you pay for and it lasts long, remember, you haven't found your style completely yet, so you don't need something that's going to last you 20 years, right? And that's the time where you can buy from ASOS. I bought from ASOS a lot, which is super cheap, right? Even though they're from the UK, it was like at the time free shipping. It's total fast fashion. I'm just going to be honest. It's total fast fashion. But here's the thing. I think it's okay if you're starting out to go with the fast fashion brands. Once you start to find your style, then you can go into more of the quality stuff. But don't worry in the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah, make mistakes. Now, I am going to plug again this book to you, Zach. I totally recommend The Appearance of Power. Because it's like $12, I think, on Amazon. And it's not much at all. And what Tanner does is he goes through all the essentials that you need, tactics versus strategy. The tactics are the stuff like what colors go with what, how to make sure your pocket square matches with your tie in a way that's not tacky. Those are tactics. The strategy is more the long-term thing. What's your goals in life? What are your tribes? Like your religious, your cultural tribe, we all have a bunch of tribes, right? And you want to dress in a way that doesn't alienate you from those tribes, right? But in a way that is true to yourself and is the best version of you. So that's something that if you start to think about this stuff, you're gonna make less mistakes. You still will make mistakes, and that's 100% okay, and you need to, but you're going to get to your goal quicker. So my advice to you would be to watch Tanner Guzzi. Just look up Tanner Guzzi, Tanner Guzzi, Guzzy. Look him up on YouTube. And he has a lot of talks on this on his channel, but the book condenses it in the most perfect, easy way possible. And I think that's one way to start off. And I think it's going to be a lot easier for you in the future if you do that. You got to find out. And you can also watch my video on, I have a few in my beginners playlist about one easy trick to finding your style fast, and it's using the Socratic method. Find out what you gravitate towards, why you like it, and then ask, okay, why do I like it? And then keep asking why, and you're going to go down to the very root of why you like this, and then you're going to understand why, and then you can start to see more things and pick them out, the correct things for you. So use the Socratic method to find out why you like certain things, and then that's going to make it a lot easier as well. Okay, we have, Nicholas at Vintage Bursha. Hey, you cutie pies.
Nice.
What's up, handsome?
Nice.
What's up, good looking? How you doing? Yeah, no, you guys.
Niklas is actually from Aachen
Oh, really?
as well,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think, where I was born.
Yeah.
So pretty funny.
Yeah.
Same hometown.
Yeah, Nicholas is awesome. I did the live stream. My first live stream was with Nicholas on his channel. You guys should check it out. That was so much fun. That's what really got me going. I need to start doing these live streams, or really made me go, okay, this is going to be fun. Okay, Alexander McShane. I hope I'm saying that right. I have one bespoke suit, lucky, made in Manchester in the UK for my wedding. Well, one, congratulations on the wedding, brother. And planning another one in London, but want some made to measure, but I'm afraid to order made to measure online. Any advice? returns are difficult. Yeah, so I personally, this is where I know I've had made to measure trousers online, but have you, Benjamin, had any suits?
Yeah, this one, for
Oh,
example.
that's right. Yeah. What advice do you have for
I think
Alexandros?
the most important is that actually quite a good thing you talked about like earlier with like this guy basically selling something like inside of his jacket and just being like in the shadiest corner of the town. Like this is kind of what very cheap made to measure services can be, and they it's not that they are, but they can be. Like Hockerty, for example, I've seen so many people who had extremely bad experience with them. On the other hand, I never had pretty much any bad experience with them. But I think if you are already scared to measure, I think the most important thing is actually to shop on a site that is reliable, that you can trust, like Lanieri, for example. I had a shirt made by them and it didn't fit. And I told them, hey, this shirt doesn't fit. And then they remade it, sent it to me, and it still didn't. And they remade it again and sent it to me again. So basically, they made 3 or 4 shirts for me until they got the fit right. But then it was perfect. They didn't charge me anything. They kept me as a customer, and I can go on with ordering. I have my size profile. And that's also what I did with the suit, basically. I have a Lanieri suit that is phenomenal, Loro Piana fabric, really good. And I think that's the most important thing, to actually buy from a shop that is trustworthy, because even if something doesn't work out the way you would want to, you can just drop them an email. They will answer quickly, they will be helpful, and they will remake the item if there is no other option, basically.
Yeah, you know what? That's brilliant. You put it in the best terms. Yeah, this is when you really want to, and especially if you're buying bespoke, you know, it's like, okay, you have the best, so it's not going to be as good, but don't go with the cheapest made to measure. Exactly. And
Exactly.
I would recommend, I haven't personally ordered a jacket from Calaro, but I've ordered their made to measure trousers, and I got the trial trousers with them. Yeah. And trial trousers, I put in my measurements of my favorite pairs of pants, and then I did the trial pair. And the trial pairs were better than I thought, but they definitely need some work, and I'm glad I went and spent the extra, at the time, $60, $65 for the trial pair. They're wearable, but they're not what I would like in the final picture. And when I got and we went through it in the email, and they're like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and how do you like this, Demetrios? So like, they were very in-depth. And when I got the trousers, I mean, they're not perfect, but they're near perfect, the fit.
Yeah.
So I'm
actually in the process right now of ordering, but I already ordered it, but very soon I will have the trial jacket arriving at He Spoke Style X Michael Andrews Bespoke. I ordered something.
Great.
And that's also exactly, it's awesome, because you just have a piece that is cheap fabric, basically, more or less. But you can send them a picture, and they can exactly see on your body how it looks and what they might change for like the final product. And that's actually great.
Yeah, it is. And with Calaro, I know, when you do the trial pair, no extra charge. Like, so you're not paying for extra shipping or anything. You just pay, like, at least for the trousers, you pay the $60, or now it's, I think, a little more. But you pay it, and then don't worry about it. And once you get it,
and Calaro does that for jackets as well, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. They do it for jackets too. So, and their jackets look gorgeous. Like, I've seen other influencers wearing them, and I was like, those are beautiful jackets. And they'll tell you, like, okay, we have a matching, you know, fabric for the pants and the jacket. So you buy them separately, but you can get them in this as a full suit. Yes.
And they actually have the option on jackets to go really broad with the lapels. Yeah. That's something I love. I think the maximum is actually 5 inches, and that is just...
It's insane. Damn. I know. And I said, I still want to see before I make a purchase, because I said these are the ones that, for me, fit the best of what I have, or like what I like personally. And I'm like, if they can get it looking at least similar to this, or at least that width, I was like, dude, I'm gonna have to try it sometime, because and the fabrics are great. They have a great selection of fabrics and colors, very nice colors.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Also like corduroys and that
Yeah.
stuff. Very, very great stuff,
Oh,
actually.
yeah. Beautiful. Love Calaro. Okay. John Champion says, have either of you seen the talented Mr. Ripley? And if so, what style tips and inspiration did you get from him? Personally, I have not seen it yet. It's been on my watch list for a long time now. I just have to find a time and remember to watch it. But style tips from it, guys, it's all about the Italian knit. And a few people sell that exact replica from talented Mr. Ripley. I love Italian knits. And it's it already matched something I was trying to do in the summer, which is a very vacation-y, beachy vibe, where it's like loose white linen pants, maybe rolled up on the bottom, and a nice knitted polo that you can button from top to bottom, have it open if you're on the beach, and close it up when you're going to dinner. Like, just awesome looks. Have you seen that, Ben?
I didn't, but John Champion, isn't that the football commentary guy on ESPN?
Oh.
If it's you, tell us.
Yeah. If it's you, I gotta know.
But I didn't watch the movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So none of us have seen it, but I know that style is phenomenal. And there's a few brands on Instagram I know that sell them. Tom something, I forget it, but he sells replicas of that shirt and also shirts that Kramer wears in Seinfeld, which is amazing. Okay.
Yeah, but Italian, like this style of knitwear that Italians seem to like is also something I love personally.
Oh.
Like, do you know Gros Le Mas, the brand? I think they are from Scandinavia or something.
No, I do not.
Okay, they have one knitwear piece that is made of terry cloth, actually, and it is like Italian Riviera vibes, 1950s all over, and I will definitely buy that at some point.
Yeah.
Like, I love these awesome knits, just like with nice collars and like a little bit of roll inside.
Yeah, it's my weakness, man. That's my weakness. That's definitely something. After getting that Dopia polo, I'm like, I need to get my polo game up, because I was like, these are so cool,
same.
So fun to wear, and all those little details. Who knew like these shirts like this could be so full of character? They have so much character in them. It's ridiculous. Okay, so we have Joshua Davis says, have either one of you considering using the made-to-measure program Brian Sakawa offers through HSS and Michael Andrews? So yeah, you were talking about that.
Yes, I did consider it. I ordered something. I will not yet say what, but it is a jacket of some kind. And yeah.
All right.
And yeah, well, when did I order? I think that's about like a month ago. And I think this week the trial jacket should arrive.
Nice.
And yeah, I will make a video about it on my YouTube channel. It will probably be early next year, actually, when it is up. But I think in January 2022, the video will be up on my channel, because that's also like a collaboration and a brand that I was really interested in, because I love what Brian does on YouTube and on Instagram. He's like super stylish, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And I was excited for this one. And yeah, I can't wait, actually, for the jacket to arrive.
Awesome. Yep, I have no experience with them, but I definitely have been looking into them lately, and if I have the means, then definitely.
And Michael Andrews is a great guy, by the way. I had a video call with him to get like the fit right and all that stuff, and very chill dude.
See, awesome, perfect, beautiful. You heard it here, guys. All right, Gentleman Rated says, what are your thoughts on the British brand Hackett London? It's a brand. Is it a brand? Is the brand as popular abroad as it is here in the UK? I've never heard of them. So, but then again,
I have heard of them.
Okay.
But that's it.
Oh, okay.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. So probably not as popular as abroad, but hey, man, it makes it that even more British, which is awesome.
I would actually say that there are quite many British brands who are way more popular outside of Britain.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Burberry, of course, that's like for sure. But also like Church's, I think that should be a British brand, if I'm not completely misled or something.
I think so. Yeah. There's a lot of shoe brands I know that are outside of England or the UK in general that are very, very popular, which are phenomenal. I just got
John Lobb, I think, as well. It's
Yeah.
like, I think there is a French John Lobb and a British John Lobb, but the British John Lobb is also British.
yeah. All right, so we got strength, passion, opinions on suit supply. Ben, do you want to take this first?
I can. Honestly, like I don't exactly know the pricing in the US, but in Europe they are very reasonably priced and they have awesome stuff.
Yeah.
They have some very classics / modernly styled suits to begin with, which are very cheap, but actually great to like build the foundation of a wardrobe, like to have like a gray suit like this, and you can just wear like the pants with like a blue jacket in the end and whatever. But what I really like is that they sometimes have pieces where I think, damn, I would not have expected that.
Yeah.
Like, for example, let me show this, like this jacket, for example, I bought that for less than 200 euros from their MTO program, and I just love it. It's phenomenal.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. And like sometimes they have like, it pretty much feels like they make a mistake and they actually don't want to offer that stuff, but sometimes they just offer phenomenal, sartorial, awesome stuff.
Yeah.
But it is made in China, the most part. Some things are made in Bulgaria. I think their chinos are made in Bulgaria, for example, but it is not as qualitative and not as craftsmanshipy as like Polaro, for example.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. So my first good suit was Suit Supply, and I got it for the premiere of the film I worked on because I needed one, and I'm like, that was the excuse to get one, and it was great. It was under 500. It was like 400 or 399. It was cheap. It was for the suit that I got, and I remember they were out. It was the Washington cut, and I wear it a lot in my older videos, at least the jacket, and I was like, hey, you guys are out of this. I emailed them and I'm like, this was years ago. And I was like, hey, when are you going to be back in stock with this style? And the guy's like, I got one more of that in your size in the warehouse. So he's like, I'm going to put it on. So he's like, here you go. I'm going to give you this link. You're only going to be able to get it. And he's like, just let me know when you buy it and I'll take it off. And I said, thank you. And I got it, shipped within days, and I got it. And the fit was perfect. The only thing that needed to be tailored were the pants, and that's when my mother's friend did it, and she used to tailor. And she just cuffed it to like a no break and then tapered it down below the knee, and it was phenomenal. I loved it. And she was like, the quality of this is amazing. And so even though it was sewn together, it's VBC fabric, so phenomenal Italian fabric, put together in China, in a not bad factory. I've seen a video on the factory that they have, and it's not gross or anything. It looks like you're an average, place to make clothing or suits. But it's still, the thing I don't like about it is their advertising campaigns are just trashy.
Yeah,
that turns me off so much. And I was like, literally orgies, and the like time for like basically after 2020, they're like, time to get back into orgies. And I'm like, I didn't do orgies like that back before. And it was just, to me,
you didn't?
Yeah, no, surprisingly not, dude. Actually, I couldn't wait, man. I was like, come on, 2021, baby. Let me get back to my to my groove, baby. Yeah. No, but I was, I'm no Austin Powers.
Sexual distancing.
Yeah. And so, I lost my mojo. Sorry, I got to quote Austin Powers there. So the thing is, for me, it just did not fit the ethos of what they were representing or their clientele. I know they do it for shock value so people can talk about it, but guess what it did? It made me not want to buy from them ever again. And it made me go, okay, so if you're starting off, I think it's great. Once you finally, it's a good first suit that's good.
Yeah.
That isn't something that your mom bought you for.
And it's a good second suit as well.
Exactly.
Like they are pretty well made.
They are. They are. And I still wear mine. And the thing is,
also the knitwear polo shirts.
Right. Great.
I think the only thing from them that actually isn't really good is ties,
Okay.
pocket squares, and shoes. The shoes are really bad.
Okay, gotcha. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah. So suit supply, I go now. There's so many options of smaller places with actually very good prices, like Spear and McKay, which make beautiful suits. So it's kind of like, this is what I say: if you find a suit on there that you really, really like and you can't find anywhere else for the price, then obviously go for it. I don't personally, and I'm like, I'm looking somewhere else. Just because, to be honest, the ad campaign really, for me personally, turned me off. But they still make decent stuff, especially for the price. I think they're very good.
Yeah.
But definitely Pini Parma is actually something that
Yeah,
that's from Italy. Their button stance though is so high, I noticed though. And that's one thing that's been taking me off. It's like almost near the chest. And I'm like, if it was lower, I think I would have gotten it right away. But
and the thing is, compared to suit supply in Europe, they mostly are twice or even thrice the price. So.
yeah, they are more on the expensive side. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, okay, we have Theo, Tualdo. Ciao, all. Ciao.
Ciao.
What music do you listen to? Ooh, Benjamin. All right, you got some. You got good taste. Let's hear it.
Oh, thank you. Well, I would say my favorite genre is fusion jazz, like jazz rock, jazz, and like I love saxophones.
Oh yeah.
And like stuff like Spirogyra, for example, but also like the very, let's say, stereotypical jazz stuff like Monk. I won't spell the first name. And like that stuff is phenomenal in my opinion. I love funk, like pop funk, like Earth, Wind and Fire, for example, is great in my opinion. But also like what?
I love Earth, Wind and Fire, dude. Oh my gosh, I can groove out of them all day.
Yeah, absolutely. And Stevie Wonder, for example, phenomenal in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And New Jack Swing, that's also like some funky stuff. For example, the stuff Bruno Mars does on his latest album.
Yeah.
Like the stuff like Chunky or something that's just like nice bass line and just like it's phenomenal. I love it. And yeah, besides on like a regular day, I also listen to a lot of like 70s, 80s rock, basically.
Nice. So
how about you?
Oh man, gosh, I listen to almost everything. The only things I never liked was rap and country, but like
I think like John Denver, for example, it's listenable.
Yeah. So like I used to be back in the day. I was a metalhead. I was in a band, and metalhead. I can growl and scream pretty decently. I was into punk a lot, pop punk, hardcore, post-hardcore, mellow death metal, metalcore, some deathcore. And then I got out of that. I don't listen to it much anymore. It's mostly now. Okay, so I listen to Byzantine chant. I am Orthodox anyway, and I actually do chanting, Byzantine chant at the monastery I go to for Orthros, and I do it with Nicholas, who is in the chat, or was. What's up, Nick? Malaka. And my mentor, my teacher, Demetrios. And that's gorgeous. If you look up Byzantine Greek chant, guys, I mean, it's like, I do what's called the Ison. It's a drone. And it's just like, and it just sounds so cool, so mystical. And yeah, blow your mind away, blow your socks off. And then I listen to a lot of Greek laiko music, which is Greek folk music, kind of modern Greek folk music. I listen to that all day, especially in the car. I got an app with a radio, Glendi FM. Or whatever it is. Anyway, Glendi FM, Greek laiko channel. Also, dabki, Lebanese dabki music for dabki dancing, because I do dabki dancing, which is like what you'll see at weddings and stuff. It's so much fun. Look up Lebanese dabki. It's D-A-B-K-E, Lebanese dabki. And then, gosh, I listen to bossa nova. Listen to a lot of Brazilian bossa nova specifically. Oh my gosh, I love it. It sounds so much better in Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese specifically. Sounds so good. Let's see, what else do I listen to? Lyco. I've been getting into a lot of oldies, like Frank Sinatra lately. That is phenomenal stuff. It's definitely a great vibe. I do like old Irish music, Irish sea shanties before they got popular, before everyone was going, oh, the TikToks of Irish sea shanties. I don't want to be that hipster, but I'm like, I was into those 10 years before that became a trend. But no, I don't want to be a hipster. But yeah, and then, Bocelli, Andrea Bocelli, especially. Some Pavarotti. I've been into Bocelli since I was like 4. Like, I love Bocelli. But yeah, that's me. It's a bunch of stuff. Oh, we love.
Yeah, I know. Give me a second.
Yeah, no problem. It's just, he's still on, guys. It's just the image went away. So he's got to change batteries. Because we've been talking this long. We've been doing good, though, guys, man. And you guys are still here with us. Papa bless, man. Okay, so we got Zimuro. Great talk. Why, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Papa bless. Ben, corduroy, pretty strong. Oh, yeah, corduroy's that was another one. Corduroy is phenomenal for winter and stuff like that. And a durable fabric that will not tear on you. Jens Hall. Tips for getting out of defaulting to certain outfits. I have a tendency to wear the same outfit over and over. When I try to break it up, I always feel like a piece to complement the outfit. Okay, so yeah, tips for getting out of defaulting to certain outfits. You know what? For me personally, defaulting to certain outfits, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. What you want to do is, it depends on what it is. So if it's just the same, it's good to not all, I mean, it is good though to have variety, but it's also, good to don't worry about too much. If it becomes a uniform, I think one day what you can do is get all the pieces. Try to tell your brain too, like, it doesn't matter that if I'm breaking it up. You know, you can always wear your favorite combo on a different day. Always, because I tend to do that where I'm like, oh, but this combo is good. Like, I wear a certain piece, let's say this jacket and a different shirt other than this one. I'm like, but I like the black quarter zip the best. And it's like, don't worry, you're going to most likely live another day. You can wear it tomorrow. You know, so you got to think like that and just remind yourself, I can wear it again very soon. But just today, we're going to try something else. And what you can do is get a few pieces that you like. And let's say you're defaulting, let's just say hypothetically, to a certain jacket and pair of jeans and a shirt. Start finding a bunch of shirts that would match with that combination and go in the mirror and try it on. Go, okay, I like this combo. This is good. And just test them out and see how you like it. And just, I think it's more of a mind thing of just remembering that there's other combos that look good. Don't get too fixated on one certain look. And know that you can wear it tomorrow. Just tell yourself, I'll wear it tomorrow. That's okay. Or, in a few days from now. That's all I can say. Benjamin, do you have anything to say on that?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
Perfectly explained.
Awesome. All right. And Jared, awesome advice. Thank you. Well, thank you, Jared, for sticking around. Okay. Be prepared for the mistakes indeed. Absolutely. Let's see. John Champion. What's up, John? All right. Do either of yourselves ever dip into buying vintage items? Personally, love buying vintage ties. Have 100+ vintage ties and a lot of very expensive ones bought for cheap. Turnbull and Esser for £10. Wow. Okay, that's great. Nice. Or 10 euros. Oh, wait, is it the pounds or euros? See, this is my American coming out. I don't know if I forgot if that's pounds or euros. Hold on a second. I just gotta check because I don't want to look like an idiot. Euro. Sorry. Oh my gosh, I've been to Europe. Good grief. I should know this by now. You should know this by now. So, ever dip into buying vintage? I've bought a few vintage. The problem with me is I've become so particular in my style of suits and trousers that it's like, it's going to be impossible for me to find vintage in exactly the way I like it. But for pocket squares and ties, I don't wear ties often. But pocket squares, I love pocket squares. Like I'm wearing a few now from a Neapolitan site. I forgot what, oh my gosh, I should know what it is here, just so I can shout them out. They're great. Calabrese Napoli, 1924. Great brand.
They are great.
But I haven't really looked that much into vintage. I mean, other than going to my thrift store, which is in town, where I've gotten wonderful pea coat. I've gotten that one jacket I was talking about, that suede vintage jacket. I mean, vintage is in 80s, but, whatever. But I haven't had that much. But if I do find something that I'm all for it, I think it's a great idea. And you can save so much money. If it's in a style that you like, I feel jealous. I'm jealous of the people who have a very vintage aesthetic, because the hunt for that stuff is so fun. You know?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah. Have you been ever got into buying vintage stuff?
Not really. Like the problem for me is as well that I'm very slim. I wear like EU 44, EU 46 sometimes, and that's just super hard to find in like vintage stuff. I have one vintage suede jacket actually, which is pretty nice, but besides actually nothing.
Yep, same. Oh gosh, it's if I did wear more ties, I feel like I could, like these guys are talking about in here in the comments. Yeah, buying vintage ties, I feel like that would be pretty cool. If I find one, great. Now you're making me want to look up ties, and then I'm going to be on eBay for like hours looking up cool vintage ties to get. But I'll save them for you guys. Okay, let's see. Gentlemen, rate it again. If you had, this is a good one. If you had $10,000 to spend on a suit, what tailor brand would you choose? Oh my gosh. Ben, if you had $10,000 to spend on a suit, what brand or tailor?
I think it would probably be a Savile Row tailor, and I would say either Chittleborough and Morgan or Edward Sexton himself.
Oh my God! Oh, Edward Sexton, dude! Oh my gosh, the most iconic looking suits you've ever seen.
Absolutely,
you know it
absolutely.
when you see it.
And the last concert the Beatles ever did on the roof of his store, it's just phenomenal.
Oh man, that's a great answer. What kind of suit would you get? Because 10,000, you can get some elaborate fabrics.
Well, I don't know the exact pricing at Edward Sexton, but I think excluding fabric, about 7,500 pounds is what you pay. So
wow.
There isn't that much left for the fabric,
right.
actually.
Oh, that's true. Shoot. Wow.
But I think I wouldn't actually go for one of these super fine, super 200s, blah, blah, blah. But I would rather go for something like maybe super 120s, probably a gray with chalk stripes that is kind of flannel-alike.
Yeah.
That's very British. Yeah, I think that would look pretty nice. Or a tuxedo.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking of. I thought, okay, I could go for a
double-breasted tux.
Yeah.
Would it be for me?
Oh, yeah. See, that's the thing. I was thinking of a tux or just a very durable suit. But I went, you know what? If someone gave me, he said, if you had 10,000 to spend, I don't know did I make this 10,000? Someone give it to me and say, hey, you got to spend it on a suit. If someone said 10,000 you got to spend on a suit, I would, see, I don't know what I would do. Normally I'm the unconstructed guy, right? Summer suits, I like summer suits. But
Rubinacci or something.
Yeah, but I really like Cifanelli.
Oh yeah.
And I would get a tux. And I think if I got a tux, and I was spending that much money, I wouldn't go for the unstructured shoulder. I'd go for a pretty bold shoulder. And I think I'd go
the Cifanelli shoulder.
Cifanelli,
in that case, probably.
Yeah.
So.
And I'd go for probably a tux. I don't know if it'd be tempting to go classic, like black, but also, well, velvet jackets look good. I don't know about a whole velvet suit. That might be, I don't know. I'd have to see it. Yeah.
Or like a Blackwatch tartan or something, like a full dinner suit.
Oh, yeah, something. But I'm thinking Cifanelli, and something very special occasion, if I just had the money. Now, if I was paying for it myself, I'd be like, find me the most. I'd go to I'd go to Sicily or Naples, find a really good bespoke tailor that's cheap, like a few $1,000, and go, give me the most durable fabric, the most incredible fabric you can find for this amount of money. That's what I do if I'm not going for a tuxedo.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Oh wait, Ben, don't spend 10K on this suit. My advice. Yeah, unless someone tells me. Yeah, right. Not in a, not unless I have that kind of money to wipe my ass with. Then I will. But you know, don't
I
have.
think if I would have just like it really depends. Like if I would be like super wealthy from one point to another and would just have like $300,000 on my bank account at this moment, I would absolutely spend 10,000 on a suit. But
Yep.
well, at the moment,
Yep,
no.
that's it. Yep, yeah. At the moment, now it depends on what you mean. Okay, John Champion. I'm not the football commentator. Just a 21-year-old sartorialist. Well, hey, man,
Oh, that's even
better.
better.
Yep, I was gonna say that. Yep, better. All right, awesome. Oh, thank you, Jens. Yeah, the Scott Frazier collection sells a replica of the Talented Mr. Ripley shirt. Costs a pretty penny, but looks great. Yeah, super expensive. But yeah, that's one where they make a really good replica of it. And someone told me they recently bought from Scott Frazier. And yeah, I'm like, dang, they're expensive, but you know, looks pretty cool. Let me see. I think that's actually... oh yeah, yep, Hugo's main tailor, Cifanelli. Yep, French class. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think, guys,
I sadly never met
Yeah.
him. That's so sad, actually.
he's got a very legendary look too. Just in his pictures, he's like very serious and pretty boss guy. Okay, we've been going on for what, 2 hours now? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this is a great time to wrap it up, guys. This was very successful, I thought, in my opinion. A few little, mistakes on my part, of not, adjusting the camera and all that, but I think we did pretty good. I think so. I don't know. First time. I mean,
It was a lot of fun.
it was.
Sure.
And hey, guys, make sure, to like this and join the Patreon if you want to continue to watch these. And there's some great stuff on there as well. Guys, thank you. First, Ben, thank you so much for being on. This was awesome. I really am super stoked of doing this. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting
Of
me.
course,
Thank you so much.
guys. He's upping the channel. He told me, he's got some pretty big plans for the channel. He's got a
Oh yeah, I do.
and he's got a phenomenal channel, guys. YouTube channel. You can find him at Sartorial Styles on YouTube and at Sartorial Styles com on Instagram. I actually have right here linked in the description. I have both Benjamin's YouTube channel and his Instagram. Please check him out. Please subscribe and support him. He's got phenomenal stuff. And just like me, we're in the same kind of path here. And finding you guys great brands and helping you how to dress better and have it in ways that improve your life. So again, thank you, Ben, so much for being on here. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, all of you who have stayed here on the live stream. Papa bless. Love you guys. All right, and I'll see you guys very soon. Adios.
Ciao.
All right. Awesome. Dude.